Alright, this should be live. Let me just double check. And yes, it is live. Okay. I'm going to be sharing this on various social media platforms. Again, if you have any questions, you can always leave them in the chat. We will gladly answer. Okay. There we go. Trying to see if anybody's in the chat at this time of night, unfortunately. Just going to be sharing the stream on Facebook, Blue Sky, and then on to Discord as well. And then we'll get right into it. Okay, there we go. That's sent on Discord. Now it's sent on Facebook almost. Facebook may be struggling a bit, but is Blue Sky working? I think Blue Sky worked as well. Let's see if the chat's working. Ooh, okay, we already have people watching. Hello guys, I see Typhoon Lovers in the chat. Wow, okay, and Kevin and Andrew and Richie. Okay, well, we already have a decent amount of people in the chats. Hello everyone. So let's discuss more about the storm. Oh dang, I should probably have my laptop open as well to look at the provinces in Cuba. So I do want to discuss the latest forecast cone. This was issued around 6 hours ago. So this is a little bit more out of date, but this still kind of shows the impacts that parts of Cuba are expected to see from the system. So Jamaica is still likely seeing potentially marginal to slight impacts, I'd say, at this point. It's not really highlighted on. It's highlighted a category higher right now, but those impacts are starting to continue to go down. In portions of Hispaniola, still seeing slight to or marginal to slight impacts, really. Parts of the Bahamas or the Turks and Caicos Islands are really only expected to see marginal to slight impacts as well. Looking at the southeastern Bahamas, including Inagua, they could be seeing up to slight impacts from this. Mayaguana could be seeing around a slight to moderate impacts. And Acklins Island, Crooked Island, and Long Island, all here could be seeing, as well as Rum Cay and San Salvador, could be seeing moderate impacts with the possibility of major impacts from the system. Looking over to Cuba now, there is going to be a corridor between Granma provinces, Santiago de Cuba, and Guantanamo that are expected to see additional major impacts from the system. Not only from the wind, as this is going to be hitting as a major hurricane, the strongest in recorded history in Santiago de Cuba, but it is also expected to dump a tremendous amount of rain, an additional 10 or 12 to 16 inches, with some areas getting above 16 inches of rain from the system. Yes, guys, I see. Oh, wait, hold on. Did I change the time zone? I did not. Excuse me, my bad. That I should have done. Let's see. Is this working properly? Yes, okay. I'm going to change the time zone on the bottom left. Oops, forgot to do that. Going to change it to Eastern Daylight Time, since that's now where our focus is shifting towards, with Cuba getting hit by this system. Oops. Just going to generate this real quick so then I can change it to Eastern Daylight Time, since I believe Jamaica is Eastern Standard Time, and this area is going to be Eastern Daylight Time. Same for the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands. Whoops. Hold on. Wait, I might be wrong on this time zone map. I'm just going to look at this off screen. Maybe they're not Eastern Daylight Time. It depends. Oh no, they're Central. Oh wait, Cuban Daylight Time. Okay, that's what it is. All right, that's why it looks like CDT. All right. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit weird with their acronym, but it is going to be CDT. Okay, I'm going to update that now. There we go. We are currently 2:50 a.m. Cuban Daylight Time. I believe that's what CDT stands for. That would make the most sense. But yes, the system is also expected to pose a threat, like I said, to the Bahamas as a potentially major hurricane as it rolls through. Looking less likely at this point, but still the possibility remains it could be rolling through as a Category 3. And looking at parts of Bermuda, they are expected to see slight to moderate impacts from the system. Now, looking at the broad view of tropics right now, there's a fair amount going on. We, of course, have Hurricane Melissa. That's our main coverage for today, this live stream. But there are also other things going on, and we will be covering them in coming updates. I will be doing an update tonight on the system, or on Melissa, and we'll go over the other tropical systems going on as well. Here, and let's take a look at the latest satellite imagery on Melissa here, and seeing how well is it doing right now. If we take a look at more of the zoomed in looks at Melissa here on the shortwave IR imagery, we can see a defined eye feature. It's not completely well defined, but I mean we can tell quite easily that there is an eye right there on this imagery. It is approaching Santiago de Cuba province in Cuba, southeastern Cuba. It is moving a little bit faster. It's sped up over the past few hours, over the past 24 hours. Really, it's continued to speed up towards Cuba there. Now we can take a look at also. I did want to mention that there was this band here that was impacting parts of Cuba, and there is a potential for tornadoes, tropical tornadoes along mainly Guantanamo province. Now let's take a look at the most recent infrared images over the past while. This is as it's been moving across in the Caribbean, back over it again. It's trying to get better organized, and it's going to be making landfall fairly soon, within an hour or so. Vertical heat towers are continuing to fire right now. Fortunately, this is not as strong as what it could have been. Jamaica really disrupted the system quite a lot. This could have been making landfall potentially as a Category 5 in Cuba. Still, though, likely a Category 4 or 3 at landfall. That is nothing to scoff about. Anything above 115 miles an hour is going to be record breaking in Santiago de Cuba. Do want to mention, guys, if you haven't already, please consider liking the stream. That helps out a lot. Alright. Now, looking at the more higher resolution imagery here, and I'd like to take a look at it on a cyclonic weather here, trying to see what is the eye temperature gone to most recently. Looks like it's around the minus 20s and now minus 30s degrees Celsius. So it's nearly making landfall. That eye temperature is starting to decrease a bit here. It peaked out in the positives, looks like, before it finally started to cool again. So maybe seeing some potential weakening out of the system. It's most likely maintaining its intensity is my belief on it. Here's a look at the imagery on here. More of the eye is starting to approach parts of Santiago de Cuba right now. Very close to making a landfall. Within the next hour and 15 or hour and 17 minutes, it should be making a landfall there. Looking at the environmental conditions, they are going to be, really doesn't matter a whole lot, but shear is going to be increasing over the coming hours or so, over the next 12 to 24 hours. In terms of distances from certain areas, we can discuss that. Currently, it looks to be, or we should probably use this map right here. Okay, there is going to be a little bit of a watermark on here, but that will be fine. Let's go to the most recent frame here. It looks like it's around 7 miles or so away from landfall, which could mean it's less than an hour away from landfall based on its forward motion. Its forward motion was around, I believe, 10 miles an hour. So it is moving a little bit faster now. So it should be potentially making landfall even within the next hour. Looks like, at least on this. In terms of Santiago de Cuba, the metro area, it's around 23 miles away from there. On portions of southern Holguin, looks to be around 37 to 47 miles away from you there. On portions of, let's see, this is going to be Guantanamo, looks like Guantanamo province is around 51 miles away from there, and Guantanamo metro looks to be around 63 miles away. In terms of how far away is it from Granma province, it is roughly around 21 miles away from you there. And then in terms of Antilla, I've seen some questions about that. It's around 71 miles away from you there. Looking at portions of the Bahamas, it looks to be around 100 and 200 miles away from Acklands Island, around 230 miles away from Crooked Island. Is that Crooked? Which one's Crooked Island? I don't know which one. I'm going to have to do more investigating on which one is which. I guess that's not it. Okay. And it looks to be around 220 miles away from Long Island. That center is approaching. It looks to be, I'm guessing that it's going to be Highway 20. Yes, in portions of southern Cuba, Santiago de Cuba. Alright. Now there are going to be concerns on whether or not the system slams into Atlantic Canada and Bermuda. We can discuss that on here and what the models are thinking as to where the system is going to be going. Now let's see. Is the New Year's European run is out on the system, on the one that could be threatening the Philippines, which this one does show it becoming a possible tropical cyclone before making landfall in the central Philippines, before then reaching Vietnam within the next 10 days. Again, that is also going to be a scenario. It all depends on how these two waves interact with each other. We can now look at the North Atlantic and seeing where this system is expected to go. It's expected to speed off there, and the European run has it just glancing just to the southeast, very close to Newfoundland and Atlantic Canada. Then does speed off towards the northeast and then nears the United Kingdom and Europe there. Now, I have been noticing that there is going to be this coastal low potentially trying to develop in around Louisiana. I'm not quite sure. This is likely nothing tropical. Looks to be just a post-tropical cyclone. Let's see if any of these other model runs have been showing anything similar to that happening here. That could be something subtropical on that run. Maybe some of these others showing something possible develop. It's quite uncertain as to what's going to be trying to come out of there. Some of those models show a low developing. Some of them don't even have anything developing. So really, is that going to be something subtropical? It's quite uncertain to be saying anything this far out. And there could be something developing in the Caribbean. That's also uncertain. Some of the models want that to happen. Maybe a broad area of low pressure. Nothing too bad, though. And it's not as strong of a signal as Melissa was. There's going to be, okay, let me just see if there's anything else that I'm noticing here. There's going to be a tropical wave look like approaching Jamaica over the next 4 to 5 days. Doesn't seem like it's going to become anything tropical, though. You can see the wave right in here, this blob of yellow approaching Jamaica over the next few days. All right. Now, looking at more of the imagery here, and let's talk about the wind gust right now. Wind gusts of up to 44 miles an hour being reported in Santiago de Cuba. Wind gusts of up to 69 miles an hour are reported in Leeward Point Field in just south of Guantanamo. Pressure is falling there, 999 millibars, and Santiago de Cuba's weather station's reporting pressure of 1,002 millibars, but that was 7 hours ago. So the station has stopped reporting, meaning power's likely out there. Let's see if there's any cameras we can show. I doubt there's going to be anything available. It looks like everything's down, unfortunately, in southeastern Cuba. That makes sense as widespread power outages are going to be expected across eastern Cuba. See, so here I would like to go over the intermediate advisory. This was as of around at 2 a.m. Cuban daylight time, so around an hour ago. I'm curious if they're going to be doing more positioning updates. No, they are not. Okay. Melissa is expected to make landfall soon along the southern coast of eastern Cuba as an extremely dangerous major hurricane. It was last estimated at around 130 kilometers west-southwest of Guantanamo in Cuba. Yes, okay. Winds were estimated at 125 miles an hour, so that's a high end at Category 3. Now, in terms of watches and warnings, though, there still is a hurricane warning in effect for the Cuban provinces of Granma, Santiago de Cuba, Guantanamo, Holguin, and Las Tunas in the southeastern and central Bahamas. A hurricane watch is in effect for Bermuda, and a tropical storm warning is in effect for Jamaica, Haiti, the Cuban province of Camagüey, as well as the Turks and Caicos Islands, as well as Jamaica. I don't know if I already mentioned that, but yeah, Jamaica has now been downgraded from a hurricane warning down to a tropical storm warning. In terms of the discussion there, let's see here if there's anything. Nothing mentions in here. Okay. So those hurricane winds extend up to 30 miles away from the center, and tropical storm winds are extending upwards of 195 miles out of there. And they do mention the reported sustained winds of 38 miles an hour in Leeward Point Field that we were mentioning earlier. Estimated central pressure is 952 millibars. Now let's go over the hazards, key messages for Melissa here. Or the hazards affecting land. So damaging winds are expected to gradually subside across Jamaica, but residents are advised to remain in a safe shelter until sunrise. Hurricane conditions are spreading across the warning area in Cuba and will continue through this morning. Tropical storm conditions are expected in Haiti through today. Hurricane conditions are expected in the southeastern and central Bahamas today. Tropical storm conditions are expected, and hurricane conditions are possible in the Turks and Caicos Islands today. Hurricane conditions are possible on Bermuda late Thursday and Thursday nights. In terms of rainfall amounts, Melissa is expected to bring an additional 4 to 8 inches of rain across Jamaica, where storm totals will be anywhere between 12 to 24 inches. Some isolated totals will be near 30 inches in some of those more mountainous areas. Ongoing catastrophic flash flooding and numerous landslides will continue through this morning. For eastern Cuba, storm total rainfall of 10 to 20 inches are expected through today, with local amounts of up to 25 inches are expected over some of those more mountainous regions, especially along Santiago de Cuba. This will cause life-threatening and potentially catastrophic flash flooding with numerous landslides. Over the southeastern Bahamas, storm total rainfall of 5 to 10 inches are expected through today, which will result in areas of flash flooding. For the Turks and Caicos, rainfall amounts of 1 to 3 inches are expected. Heavy rain may begin to affect Bermuda by Thursday night. Over Hispaniola, southern Hispaniola, additional rainfall of 2 to 6 inches are being forecasted for you there, with storm totals local maximum of around 40 inches are being possible. Storm surge. There's a potential for significant storm surge along the southeast coast of Cuba early today. Peak storm surge height could reach 8 to 12 feet above normal tide levels, near into the east of where the center of Melissa makes landfall. This storm surge will be accompanied by large and destructive waves. Minor coastal flooding is possible in the bays and inlets along the north coast of eastern Cuba as well. Storm surge of 5 to 8 feet above normally dry ground is possible in the southeastern Bahamas today, and 2 to 4 feet above normally dry ground is possible in the Turks and Caicos Islands today. Minor coastal flooding is also expected along the coast of Haiti. In terms of the surf, swells generated by Melissa will continue to affect portions of Hispaniola, Jamaica, eastern Cuba, and the Cayman Islands during the next day or so, causing life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. These swells will reach the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands early this morning and Bermuda later this week. Please consult products from your local weather office. All right. See how far away are we from a landfall? An hour and 7 minutes away. All right. So let's go more on this, or how about let's answer some questions about this. Holgan major impacts. Let's see. That is going to be possible, or let's see. Holgan, southern Holgan is expected to see major impacts from the system. The southernmost portions, because they are expected to see an additional 12 to 16 inches, over a foot of rain is expected to fall for you there, and you are expected to have or you are highlighted for the possibility of major impacts, as this could be rolling through your area as a major hurricane, Category 3 or higher. Let's see here, what else? Yeah, 92A has been going on for like over 10 days. Yeah, it's trying to become a tropical cyclone. Is Melissa going to make 3 landfalls? Well, let's see. We've already had one in Jamaica. Very catastrophic there. But it is also going to be making another landfall here in Cuba, delivering major to catastrophic impacts. And then it's also potentially going to be making landfall somewhere in the Bahamas. It could thread the needle there. We can take a look at the latest Google AI Ensemble members in terms of the probabilities of where it could be making landfall. Here's a look at the latest Google AI Ensemble members in terms of where it's going to be making landfall. Let's see what. Okay, they had 145 knots there, quickly weakening down to a Category 2 strength system by the time it finally reaches the Cuba. Interesting to see how low they have it at on here. See, so they've had it more a little bit to the west of where it was forecasted to go. It's more to the east. In terms of landfall, though, the consensus has shifted west towards Long Island. But if we take a look at, I believe Polar Weather has an interesting graphic on their website showing where the system is located at right now compared to the Google AI consensus and the National Hurricane Center forecast cone. See, we can see it's on the eastern end of that right here. National Hurricane Center cone had to be adjusted significantly to the east there, but we can see on this graphic here where the center of the storm is compared to all the Google DeepMind Ensemble members, meaning this will likely get shifted more to the east in the next update. We'll likely stay on the eastern end of the Ensemble members, so it looks like it's going to be trying to thread the needle between Crooked Island and Long Island there, potentially as a Category 2 strength system. See, I do believe the ensemble members will want this system to intensify. We can look at it on here. Do they want it to become a major hurricane again? Looks just below, is that 95 knots? Now they are not explicitly forecasting a major hurricane just southwest of Bermuda. It is expected to pass very close to Bermuda as a powerful Category 1 strength system. And let's see, the consensus almost had it making landfall in Nova Scotia or Newfoundland, but that is expected to shift a little bit to the east since the near-term forecast has also shifted to the east as well. The main western shift, I believe, is due to the fact that the positioning was how it wobbled more to the west or more to the north as it was making landfall in Jamaica. That's why the Google AI Ensemble members likely have shifted that direction as well. Oh, yeah, I see people mentioning the next system potentially threatening you all in the Philippines. Let's discuss that here in terms of the next system coming your way. There's going to be one right here. This one area of low pressure could be reaching you all by, let's see, this would be Monday nights at the earliest. This would be next Monday nights. And then there's another system that could be headed your way. It's quite uncertain what that next system is going to be doing and where it's going to be going. We can highlight it on here. Pretty uncertain what that next system is going to be doing. That's around 10 days from now. Some of those ensemble members wanted to become a Category 3 or 4 strength system. The consensus here between them around a Category, I'd say around a Category 3 at this point in time. And then beyond that, the peak of them, the consensus looks to be around a Category 3 or 4. So something that the Philippine Sea really needs to be watching, those in the Northern Mariana Islands as well as the Philippines and parts of Taiwan. Going to be very interested to see what the system tries to do. We have plenty of time to watch it, though, and there will be updates over the coming days on that system. Alright, so let's see what other questions we've got in the chat. Let's see here. Interesting there. I'm just going to mention that. I see that APG won a 70% chance of tropical developments there. That's interesting. Um, yes, I know them. Interesting to see them going 70% chance. I'm going to pull up, I'm looking at their graphic there. Interesting to see that. Yes, so 70% chance for them. I'm going a 40% chance as of right now for 92A redeveloping. We can take a look at how the system is doing, though, on satellite imagery. Oh, right, I think the sun's risen over them. Okay, well, let's see. It's still a broad mess right now. I wouldn't say a 70% chance within the next 48 hours. I went 20% within the next 48 hours, 40% chance within the next 7 days. Also, looks like Mantha has made its landfall in India, southeastern India, and it is expected to dissipate over the next day or so. Yes, Melissa is tied currently for the strongest landfall in the Atlantic Basin history. Now, there's a lot more discrepancies to go over in trying to figure out how strong was it actually at landfall, because it could have been weaker than the National Hurricane Center was showing, and it could be stronger than what they were showing. So, a lot of data to go over. I will be doing that over the coming days. Just have to get through the system first. Have to get through its impacts in the Bahamas, and then we can really start to do more reanalysis on Melissa and other storms like Sonia. Thankfully, there hasn't really been much in the Western Pacific recently. I believe I'm going to have to do parts of Fengshen. Yes, I'm going to have to do the rest of Fengshen there. And Fengshen, Sonia, and then Melissa. So only got 3 systems to really be doing reanalysis for. Do you think Melissa's eye is collapsing? Let's take a look at the latest imagery from, I believe, Cyclonic Weather here. Is the eye collapsing? Yes, and it looks like it could have made landfall right now, actually. This latest imagery does show a potential landfall happening in, let's see, in Cuba. Looks like we may already be seeing a landfall. Man, that was a lot quicker than I expected. I'm going to cut that timer down to now 30 minutes. Looks like it might be speeding up. And so yeah, it looks like it has potentially made landfall in portions of Cuba. I'm curious if there's a National Hurricane Center update statement just yet. Probably not, but we can take a look to see if they've declared landfall. No, no landfall has been declared just yet, but this could be making landfall potentially as a category. I'd say category 3 at this point. I'm probably going to cut that landfall timer down to 10 minutes. Actually, this is probably going to be, or I'll do even 3 minutes or so. Actually, I feel like this is probably making landfall right about now. Um, if not now, within the next few minutes. I did not expect it to go this fast towards there, but yes, the eye is beginning to collapse as it's starting to feel some of that land interaction. Let's. Oh, sorry. There we go. 3 minutes now. Let's. Oh, sorry, I forgot to adjust that there. But yes, it could be making landfall right about now. Yes, this is the first landfall in Jamaican history to be a Category 5. First landfall in. Well, this is not the first Cat 3 landfall in Santiago de Cuba, but it will be the strongest. Yes, guys, thank you so much for 4.62 thousand subscribers. We are 4 away from 4.63K. Let's see if we can hit that by the end of the stream. Nope, Sharkies is not available yet. Then that's totally fine. We're just me for right now. Yes, Hurricane Watch is in effect for Bermuda as well. They need to be watching the system. Potentially seeing slight to potentially moderate impacts from this. And I do believe it's going to try to move to the west of Bermuda. We can look at the latest Google AI Ensemble members in terms of what they were showing. Remember, this was with the more western shift. Yeah, still had it moving to the west of Bermuda. It might get shifted a little bit more to the east in the next Europe or next Google AI Ensemble member runs. Yes, Gianni, you mentioned, I mean, 175, 185 on landfall. It still doesn't suggest the actual damage of what could have happened at the final end. When we officially see the damage, it's going to be catastrophic. I agree. Catastrophic damage is likely happen in portions of Westmoreland and let's see, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, and St. James and Trelawney. Some of those areas, catastrophic damage likely happened as this rolled through as a Category 5. What about Mantha? Haven't done much analysis on that system. It is a tropical storm, possibly a tropical depression at this point. It is moving through. I'll pull it up on this imagery instead. Curious, is there still satellite imagery on it? It is going to be delivering decent rainfall totals across India. I'd say around 100 to 200 millimeters of additional rainfall at least. So it is posing a rainfall threat towards portions of India. Still firing some decent convection on the western side. It is a sheared tropical cyclone. Let's see if we can see the latest visible imagery on the storm. So it is likely weakening now that it's over land. There's a sheared tropical cyclone, broad center of circulation, so it's hard to try and track where the center is actually going. It's a very sloppy tropical cyclone as of right now. Let's see. Oh yeah, 1 minute until landfall. There we go, landfall. Let me just do the sound effect. I'd say this is a Category 3 at landfall, so let's play the sound effect. There we go. So it looks like it has made a Category 3 landfall in Cuba right now. If we look at the more most recent imagery here, it is suggesting that it has made landfall. As a Category 3, this would be the strongest landfall in a recorded history for Santiago de Cuba, with winds of 125 miles an hour with a minimum central pressure of around, I'd say around 952 millibars or so, around the 950s. Let's see if Recon got any more recent data on the storm because they were flying through it. Did they finish? Yes, looks like they have finished on they finished a while ago, so we don't have much data as to how strong it was by the time it made landfall in Cuba, unfortunately. And this is a pretty quick live landfall coverage. I thought it was going to be taking a lot longer than this. I thought it was going to be taking at least another hour before it would actually make its landfall. It looked like it was moving a little bit slower than the National Hurricane Center forecasted. Um, but then all of a sudden it sped up here. As you can see, earlier it was moving a lot slower than forecasted. Earlier mainly around here-ish. Starting to move a little bit slower than forecasted, looks like. So I thought that, oh, okay, it's going to be making landfall a little bit slower. Nope, it looks like it has made landfall even a little bit faster than the most recent National Hurricane Center forecast would suggest. All right, so yeah, it's delivering major impacts right now across portions of Santiago de Cuba. I am probably going to wrap this stream up shortly because of the fact that I do want to get some sleep. But yes, major impacts are going to be happening across portions of Santiago de Cuba right now as it is moving through the country. Again, additional major impacts are expected across portions of Santiago de Cuba, Holguin, Guantanamo, and Granma provinces in Cuba, with Las Tunas also experiencing some moderate impacts as well. Portions of eastern section there. Camagüey could also be seeing up to slight impacts as well. See, which they are under a tropical storm warning. Again, Las Tunas, Holguin, Granma, Santiago de Cuba, and Guantanamo are all under a hurricane warning, with mainly a corridor in Santiago de Cuba getting the worst impacts. Oh, guys, I did want to ask you all a question here. Let me see if I can pull it up. I want to have some feedback here. Since you all are around and since there's not much to really talk about, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of people watching. To those who are watching, I know you guys are dedicated fans, so I really appreciate your feedback on some of these graphics here. I'll show you in a moment if I can figure out where I made the graphic. Oh yeah, it's not there. Okay, it's off screen, off stream right now. I'm just trying to locate where did I make it. Um, hmm. See, sorry guys, I'm just trying to figure out where I made this graphic. I made it somewhere here, and then I'll show it to you all and try and get some feedback on it. So I made one of these graphics. I can show it to you on stream. This is one of the graphics I made. Just thought it would be pretty useful to get this information out. Let's see, where did I make this graphic? I made it on Figma. Um, hmm. I thought it. Oh, there it is. Okay, now I found it. And now I will show you all the next graphic here. Let me zoom out a little bit, and I will get a screenshot of it, and then I will pull it up on stream. Let's see here. Something like that, and I'm going to be sending it in. I'm just going to be trying to show you guys a new graphic that I've been coming up with, and I'm going to be planning to do more graphics like this in the future, but I do want some feedback on it. I'm going to be pulling it up any moment now if I can. Oh wait, why am I doing? Sorry, oh man, okay. Trying to. I'm a bit tired. Okay, so bear with me here. Okay, pulling it up now on the stream here. Let me duplicate a tab and then paste it in. Oh man, okay, now my computer's a little bit slower right now. Here's a look at one of the example graphics here. This is a little bit of a hurricane preparedness checklist that I made on the system, and I want a little bit of feedback on it, on what your guys' thoughts are on it. So that would really help out a lot. Is this effective wording for you all? I try to show, is this effective at all? Do you think this would be effective for those in the forecasted path, all that stuff, showing this more in terms of, like, what threat level are people under, that kind of thing in terms of timing. I feel like that this could be pretty helpful. I mentioned the fact that 5 days away, check forecast daily, restock essentials, and mention what kind of essentials those are. Review evacuation zone routes, zone/routes, I should probably do there. Remove loose debris as well. And then when you're around 3 days away, you want to be washing clothes and dishes, backup importing documents, clean gutters and storm drains. Around 48 hours away, you want to charge all devices, move valuables to higher ground, begin securing outdoor items, prepare a safe room with supplies and bedding. When you're 24 hours away from impacts, I'm curious if this should be impacts or should this be the core? I think this should be impacts away. Or how far away are you from impacts? Like some of those tropical storm force winds, that kind of stuff. 24 hours away, you want to bring in all loose outdoor objects and board up slash reinforce windows and doors. And 12 hours away, under 12 hours away, you want to be beginning to stay at home or at shelter location. Keep food and water and first aid close by. I think that this is a good checklist. I'm going to be reviewing it with some more people. You guys like it? Yes. I'm planning to do more graphics like this, and I'm planning to make a hopefully a good looking graphic that explains the impacts more effectively. I'm going to need to figure out how to make it so that's I need to make it so that the image size is around the same as everything else, like so that way I don't have to zoom in, zoom out. Like this works just perfectly, I believe. Yes. Maybe that could be zoomed out a little bit more. But you see, if I zoom out on this, then this also gets zoomed out. It's just Discord things. Anyway, guys, this looks like it could be it for this stream. Let's look at the latest National Hurricane Center update if there's anything else yet. Update statements. Okay, as of 3:10 a.m. Central or Cuban Daylight Time, extremely dangerous Hurricane Melissa makes landfall on the southern coast of eastern Cuba. Satellite and radar images indicate that Melissa has made landfall in the Cuban province of Santiago de Cuba, near the city of Chivaraco, at 3:10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time or Cuban Daylight Time, with maximum sustained winds near 120 miles an hour. The minimum central pressure estimated from the earlier reconnaissance data is 952 millibars, so it has weakened some. Anyways, that looks like that will be it from me today. I will be going over more of these systems in a future update. I will be doing another live stream tonight on discussing the tropics. That should be shorter. Guys, thank you so much for watching the stream, and I will see you all in the next live updates, I will see you all in the next update.